This is the Pennsylvania Rock Show, where Pennsylvania's underground rock hits hard. Since 2004, we've been unleashing unsigned bands, ripping riffs, and voices that won't be silenced. Radio, podcast, streaming, anytime, anywhere. No polish, no limits, just real rock. Strap in and turn it up. And now, here's your host, Bill Damiano.
Hey, it's Bill. You're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 841. You have to bear with me for a moment because I don't have my track list open. We did just hear two tracks. I believe the first one is Reign of Z, Wire, and my software is opening. So again, bear with me for a moment. It was... Yes, The Wire by Reign of Z and Corners of Sanctuary Crimson Sky. And I apologize for not having that ready. So, episode 841. And with me are Mikey and E-Dog. I was trying to decide what I was going to call you. E-Dog okay?
Sure.
Okay. From Skell. And it's been a while since I've talked to either of you in person or on the show. And a lot has happened in that time too. So let's start off with what's happening this Friday. That's August 28th. You have a show at Edgewood Winery with Common Crown, but you also have something else cool happening, and I'm going to get quiet and let you guys tell me about it.
Well, we're going to be dropping our first single as a signed act. And that's a song that's been around before. It's called Suicide Eyes, but it's now been remastered and remixed, and it's much more to our liking. Very, very heavy, but still has a sort of a radio play to it a little bit. Totally psyched about that. We're really happy to be playing the Edgewood Winery because it's the first and maybe potentially only metal night they've ever had or ever will have. And it's... Especially if we do it right, huh, Mikey?
Exactly. Should be one and done.
That's the plan. But we're excited, and the Common Crowns are great friends, and they're going to play from 7 till 8, and we're going to play Skell from 8:30 till 10. And we're just going to let it all hang out. It's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the weather's going to be great, and you're going to be outdoors on the stage. We're putting that out there.
Yes. Yes. The weather will be perfect.
Last time I was there, I thought I was going to take photos of somebody on the stage, and they put them on the patio. Still get good get good shots on the patio, but the stage is so much better.
A little more room.
Yes. All right, so
Yeah, go ahead.
The vocals on the track are Wally's, and it's kind of leads me into asking you what the dynamics are with Bones coming back, but the new album having Wally on the vocals. What's the dynamic that's going on there? Like, I know anytime I saw them together, it felt like to me like Bones was one of Wally's biggest fans.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty awesome having Bones back. He's such a fun guy to even just hang around, and everybody knows that. So having him back and his personality, it feels really good. And yes, I definitely think he was one of Wally's biggest fans, and he'd probably say that.
Definitely. I remember Bones being a really good cheerleader for Wally in the beginning. When Bones left the band earlier, it was because he was having some voice issues because it was really hard to sing our type of music. And he didn't want to go, and he gave it everything he had. But he had to step away for a while. We didn't know he would be coming back. We were hopefully someday, but we found Wally. And Wally did such a great, wonderful job. He became an amazing frontman and singer for our band, and such a tragic loss to lose him. Yet then You have the return of Bones. It's like Skell is always in turmoil at all times, even though we're trying to, fix all these problems they're presented to. Like my one friend Robbie says, a band is a very fragile ecosystem. Things can go wrong, and they often do. And somehow we have to rise above these issues. We're doing our best. And the loss of Wally was significant. And we were so lucky because the return of Bones is also significant.
Now, over the years, you've had several singers. There was Scooby and Darren. You had some people fill in at different points, like Jen and did some songs with you, and
yeah,
and like I know you told me off the air that the title of the album has to do with some of the members. So why don't you tell us about the album a little bit and tentative release date and why the title?
Okay, first of all, naming an album is so hard sometimes. Sometimes it's like almost impossible. We worked so hard to look for that title, and then when we find it, we realize, oh my God, it's so simple, and it just tells exactly where we are and what happened to us. So to me, I'm speaking for the band. I think they all agree. The Chaos Quota, which is the name, it means, have we had enough chaos? Because we've had a lot of turmoil in the band. The losing of our drummer Keith Queter at a very young age, that was a tragedy. That was so painful. And then we lost Wally to COVID. But before we lost Wally, Wally also lost his daughter in a car wreck. And all these things were, again, significant events in our band that had major ramifications. And we had to find a way to overcome all these challenges while being human beings and experiencing the loss of our loved ones. It was really hard. After Keithy left, we kind of shut the band down for a couple months. And again, that sort of happened after Wally too. And then we didn't have a new singer, so we tried to do a couple shows with a couple of guest singers, try to get active again, but basically the chaos that this band has been through became, the title of the album. But this album, it's also a story of darkness to light, because through the chaos, and there are some heavy, dark songs on this record, don't get me wrong, and I love them. And the one song, Red, is amazingly chaotic. But it goes to the light at the end of the record. I don't want to give it all away, but you'll see that like everything sort of comes together in a way where you hopefully get an uplifting feeling that everybody has gone to a better place. What do you think, Mike?
yes. Final song. Can I say the final song? We Are the
Yes.
World. It's the last song on the record.
I don't remember seeing that in the list.
Oh, yeah, it's hidden. It's a hidden
Okay.
song. But yes,
Very good.
I agree with you, Mikey. Yeah.
I have to be honest, when I downloaded the tracks, and which I get to sit on for a while, which I love I Am the One. So I was so excited when I saw it was in there. It's
Cool.
I just feel like a lot of adrenaline when that one's being played.
Well, that song was written with a purpose. When Wally first joined the band, he was following Bones' footsteps. You remember Bones? He was always full of bravado and really fun and confident, And so was Wally, but not to the extent of Bones. Wally, he brought other things. He is very introspective and very unique and aloof, and his personality could be very dramatic. But sometimes his confidence level could use a little boost. So we wrote that song for him to stand up on the front of the stage and puff his chest and say, I am the one. And he loved that. And it really helped him find his way into the Skell universe with the energy and power that we like to bring. And I think it became one of Wally's favorite songs too.
I actually have a funny Wally story, but I'm going to tell it in the next segment because we're actually out of time on this segment. So I know I saw that, Mike. It goes fast.
Oh,
So we're going to listen to the remastered and remixed Suicide Eyes, and then I'm going to play Lose Myself. And we'll be right back.
okay.
Nice.
Out. So we have an audience over there too, but can't hear. Hey, I'm back. I wonder how much of that people heard. Very professional show I run here, Pennsylvania Rock Show, 841 episodes. With me are Mikey and E-Dog from Skell. And if you're just joining us, we just heard the remastered and remixed version of Suicide Eyes, which is single off of their upcoming album, Chaos Quota. And then we went back an album and we heard Lose Myself off of Everything's Fine. I play Everything's Fine all the time, so I had to go with a different track. Also love that song. And then anytime when I'm putting the show together, I try and keep it at like an hour. So anytime I get like I'm towards the end and I need a song that isn't real long, I usually play 2-minute Atomic Clock.
Okay. Nice.
Because it's like I think it's 2 minutes and 13 seconds or somewhere right around there. So it gets slid in there sometimes just because it's the right time.
Yeah. It's radio friendly.
That's an easy song. So it's a hit.
Hit's a hit.
Hey, so my Wally story that I alluded to, the first time I met Wally, I was going to watch Cage play, and it was before I started making Cage's website. And Wally and Step 11 opened for Cage, and Kate was with me from Suffocate, and what other band was she in? You know who I mean, Kate Faust.
Yeah. Felicia.
Yeah, Farewell Felicia.
Yes.
And something else. I can't remember, but yes, that's it. Anyway, so she walks up to Wally, and the first thing she says to him is, "Your ears are creepy." so that was my introduction to Wally. Was Kate telling him his ears were creepy?
Trying to think what his ears look like. Now I gotta go look at a picture of his ears.
They were gauged.
He had those memory dogs.
Oh yeah, well yeah, those crazy things.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't have them in that day, and they were swinging low a little.
Yes, slightly droopy.
Yeah, I have other Wally stories from Step 11, but I'm not going to tell that one.
Okay.
I actually went with them one time. They picked me up, and I went to a show with them, and the van broke down on the way there. So it was just a flat tire, but we had to pick Mikey up, the drummer, Mike White, and that was interesting too. That's all I'll say. We picked him up at a bar.
Awesome.
But anyway,
was his drums with him at the bar, or
They were, and the first word you used would describe what he was.
Okay.
So the drive there, he sobered up a little bit, and then he played. Okay, so how
Rock and
did
roll.
how did you guys end up with the vault? I'm assuming that Rob Diener is kind of the link there.
Yeah, Rob has been working with Skell as our producer, for quite a long time now. And Rob had a number of studios on his own, but eventually Rob incorporated with the Vault. And that seems to be a match made in heaven. The facility and the people there are both top notch, and Rob fits right in there. And he brought us into the Vault to record this record that we're putting out. And it took time, like everything does in the Skell world, but we're hoping it's going to be the best record we've ever made. And a big part of that has to do with Rob and Bob McCutcheon at the Vault. Plus, Jimmy Hoyson engineered it, and Greg Gordon also did some engineering, who did some work with Slipknot. And the mastering guy is Fred Kevorkian, who also mastered some of the solo stuff from the Slipknot guys. So we're bumping elbows with some bigger people than we're normally used to, and it's pretty cool.
And Fred is no relation to Doctor.
I was like, did he say Kevorkian?
He sure did.
I tell you what, that guy's a great mastering engineer.
Yes.
Because there was a couple songs where, like, I was hoping the vocals would be a little bit louder, and I was afraid we'd have to go back to a remix. And Rob said, well, let me ask Fred if he can do some mastering tricks to pull out the vocals. And he did. And I'm like, I don't know how he did that, but he did. And it sounds just the way I wished it would have. So I was like, nice.
He killed it.
Yeah.
So tentatively sometime in November is your goal for the album, right? And this is where I'm going to segue to your website as soon as I press the right button. There we go. So other than skellrocks.com, where can people track down that album and the single when they're released?
Well,
they're going to be. Go ahead. Sorry, Mikey.
No, you go ahead, please.
Well, Apple Music, Spotify. Am I missing? What would the Android version be?
I don't know if there really is. I mean, like, probably the distribution you're going through probably has Amazon and iHeart and Deezer and all of those places.
Well, the other cool thing about it is we're going to do some physical release. We're so psyched. There's going to be an actual vinyl, and we're actually making a CD as well to go along with this. And, we've been doing this a long time, but I've never been on a vinyl until this record. And I couldn't be more excited about that.
Yeah, for sure.
For years, to my left, right on my desk, I had a Whiskey High cassette, and I was going to pick it up and show it to everybody right now. And it's not there. I don't know what I did with it.
So we had cassette, CD, but the only thing we don't have is 8-track.
I owned one 8-track. One. And it was a disco album. I can't tell you anything about it other than it had a Superman logo on the front of it. And that was why I made my parents buy it for me.
That's awesome.
So anyone who's really young listening right now, they're going, what are they talking about? Cassettes and 8-tracks?
God's name is that. Yep. Probably not 8 tracks, but
my dad has a 1955 Ford Crown Victoria, and he had an 8-track player that sat on the transmission hump. And That's what I remember about 8-tracks. That and that I had that disco album with Superman on the cover. I don't know anything else about it.
I love it.
We have like 40 seconds before it's gonna ring and tell me time's up. So and then we're gonna take another like 9 minutes with you guys if that's cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the vault is in Neville Island, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I've never actually been there. I've
You want to go?
met Bob a lot. Actually, Rob is like, you need to come down here, and it's like at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
You
So
should. It's a top-notch facility, and they have a Dolby certified Atmos room, which is amazing.
Yeah. Totally amazing.
and the Neve board, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Formerly owned by George Harrison of this other band called the Beatles. You may have heard of them.
They
Sounds
sound a
vaguely
little
familiar.
bit different than you guys, though.
Not Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take our second break. We will be right back. We are going to be hearing from Yiga Digga and their song Fireline, and Ingo Swan and their new song Sinking. And we'll be right back.
I like that song. And you can dig it.
So it's ooh. Hey, Spill, we are back to episode 841 with Skell. And off the air, I was just telling him that the music that was playing during the break in the video is Step 11's Seven Sin Martyr, which is a song that Wally sang on. And that it used to be the first song I played on every Pennsylvania rock show because it has like a 4-minute long introduction. And back then, when I was trying to connect to the streaming radio stations, it didn't always connect. So I had a 4-minute leadway in case it didn't connect. I could keep trying to connect, and nobody would be any wiser until now.
That's cool.
Secret's out.
Yeah, so that actually gets played. It's in the background on a lot of things that I do. That intro now is something nostalgic. So I think I told you guys that the very first time I ever saw you play was at Rock for Life, and it was Bones' last show, or not Bones' last show, Scooby's last show, and Bones. So they it was a split. They split the set. That was the first time I ever saw you, and I walked away and I'm like, okay, I got to find out more about them. I was never really into heavy stuff. So everything that you hear on the rock show now that's heavier, it's their fault. So
Sorry.
Blame accepted and embraced.
So I do have a question for Mike, and I know that's Mikey, that's how I'm doing it. You go from playing the heavy scale music, and then you go and you play yacht rock.
Yeah.
How's that happen?
Well, I mean, that's everything I grew up listening to. That I had an incredibly cool aunt that had great taste in music like Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers and Boz Scaggs and uh, all that kind of stuff. And I just always, I mean, there's great bass lines in all that stuff. I mean, it's how do you not have a Steely Dan song and not have a great bass line? So it was always something that, I don't know, it was one of those like things you kind of go, someday when I'm old, not there yet, but that'd be cool. I could be next to a pool somewhere, hanging out, playing these songs, and then meeting Frank Rodriguez at a jam night. He was like, "You ever hear of yacht rock?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "We should put a little project together," and we did, and it's been fun, good time, but definitely different than slightly different than Skell.
And they're really
For
good.
sure.
I've seen them multiple times.
And that was where I bring up
Bass player.
Glitz, which is a little closer to what Skell does, but still not really. So how did you end up in Glitz? I know they've had some changes.
Well, I was in a band called Dimwit with Bones, Dano, and Matt Ferrani and Becky. And that band broke up. And 2 days later, I got a call from Glitz looking for a guy. They needed a fill-in guitar player. And I said, "Oh, okay, I'll try it out." And I tried it out, and I kind of liked it more than I thought I would. And they kind of liked me, and we sort of, it just fell in
Kind
my
of liked
lap.
it, kind of liked it, sort of liked me.
Yeah.
So they're going
And
steady.
I tell you what's weird about that band too is that normally the singer stands in the middle, but in this band the singer plays keyboards a lot and he's off to the side, and I stand in the middle. And at first I was really like, "Oh, that's not my spot. I'm not supposed to be there." Only for a solo, maybe a little bit. But the ham bun that I am, I grew to love it. So I'm having a good time up there wiggling my butt playing 80s rock.
Look at
So
you.
a lot of guitar solos, so it's pretty fun.
For anyone that hasn't seen Mikey play Eruption, you were missing out.
Well, it depends what day it is. Some days are better than others, but thank you for that very much.
So let's do like a trip back in time a little bit. I mentioned Whiskey High. When did you guys start playing together? Was it in Whiskey High or was it before that?
Whiskey High. It was funny. The bass player before me, I never saw Whiskey High before I auditioned for him, but I was gonna go this one night. They were playing in Butler, and I actually told my buddy at work, I was like, "I'm gonna go see, and if their bass player isn't any good, I'm gonna tell him I want to play for him." And and actually, Mike and I had met maybe a year or two before at I want to say it was Satriani concert at the Syria Mosque.
Yep.
And he gave me his phone number, and somehow we never hooked up. I think I was trying to kind of hang with my buddy Andy Quinn, who's a great guitar player, and Mike was like, "I'm a one guitar player guy." And so, but anyway, that day somebody gave Mike my phone number, and he called me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming to see you tonight." And he was like, "Yeah, well, gig's canceled, and but you want to come audition?" And I was like, "Sure." So that was in what, a few years ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago. Yeah, it was back then.
Yeah,
I said cassette, people.
there was electricity, so we had already had electricity, so it wasn't that far back.
I I'm going to say 90s. I'm going to at least give them a decade. It was the 90s, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And
Back when Pantera was king.
And
Yes.
you guys headed west with the band, didn't you? Go to California?
No, that was my band before Whiskey High Mayday went out to LA. We tried to make a go of it. We were there for a year and a half, played 3 gigs, and what I learned there, I hated it. What I learned out there, though, I brought back here. And while we were a little bit behind in LA, when I came back, what I learned, we were a little bit ahead here. So that all worked out pretty good.
So when did Skell actually form?
2002.
2002.
Okay, so
Yes.
I wasn't that far behind then.
Yes. You know, and speaking of Skell, we got to talk about Cameron. We haven't brought him up yet.
Yes, the fine lad.
the young lad. I mean,
Yes.
the young lad that beats the crap out of them drums so hard for us. He's such a good kid. He really is. He's got such a good attitude. He's a great player and hard shoes to fill, Keith Queter. I'm going to tell you that. But he does pretty good. When he plays some of Keith's older songs, he does a great job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a Keith story too. There's a video on YouTube of it, on my YouTube, Build a Scene. He was playing a solo, and I was up on stage videoing, which I hardly ever did. And as he finished the solo, he did the stick point at me, and I was like, "Yep, this is going on YouTube."
Nice. Awesome.
Keithy was so driven, like no one else I've ever met before. He's like, I'm going to show you, man. I almost swore. I'm just going to let everybody know that this is the biggest, baddest thing you've ever seen in your life. And it was so fun.
Yep.
He was so passionate.
The anytime I saw you guys at like Rock for Life or where there were multiple bands, the drummers always lined up to watch him play.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of good, great drummers out there. A lot of them have speed and finesse, but I always say Keithy had that extra gear. He was a little faster and he was so articulate. Oh my God, the hands were just lightning fast, but ultimately crisp. It was amazing. And I said to him, man, how you do that? You never get tired? And he looked at me and goes, Mikey, I don't get tired. That's just the way he would roll. It was so funny.
I remember when he passed away, I asked you what was going to happen, and you said, I don't think we can replace him. And then you found Cam, and I was like, well, I think he's going to work out. And
yeah, it took a long time though.
Yeah.
There was a lot of downtime.
Wasn't easy. That's for sure.
Hey, so
when you think about it, it's amazing how much we've overcome. It's amazing. Wonderful, great people who we love, who are amazingly talented, and somehow we're finding a way to carry on what we're doing and to carry on in their honor. It's just, we're lucky or we're gluttons. I don't know.
So let's my timer went off a while ago, but just to remind everybody, tell them about the single and the tentative date for the album and where to find it. And then I have a couple more songs that I'm going to play, and I'm going to let them head off into the sunset. So let's start with, you're going to be playing August 28th, which is this coming Friday at Edgewood Winery in, it's not Apollo. What is that? Spring Church.
Yes. Spring Church.
And you're releasing, and I'm going to get quiet again.
You want to go, E-Dog?
We're releasing Suicide Eyes. That's the first single off of Chaos Quota. And we're looking forward to everybody hearing it. On all the, if you didn't hear it tonight, you'll be able to hear it everywhere.
Yeah, we're psyched about it. We're trying to get everybody to come out to this show, because we're trying to rebuild. Skell at one point in time was a pretty big draw, like Whiskey High was too. But we've had these setbacks, and we're trying to rebuild the machine, back into true form. Heavy metal keeps us young, and we want to prove that we still got what it takes. Please come out and let's have at it.
Well, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. And
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bill.
And everyone, make sure you head to skellrocks.com. I will have it updated some point Wednesday with all the information for the new track. I already have it kind of built, but I'm waiting on a little bit of information. With that said, we're going to head off into the evening. I mentioned we're going to play 2 more tracks for you. That is Deathbed by Dematis and Failure Defines by The Guides. And make sure you join us next week when I am doing 3 separate shows as one show. First time I've ever done that. The Charge Ups, formerly Chip and the Charge Ups, are releasing 4 albums on September 4th. King Melina, King Nolan, King Chip, and then King for a Day. So it's 3 solo albums and then a band album. So I'm going to talk to each individual player about their solo album and each of them about the band album as well. It'll be interesting. And then following week, I'm doing the Band Jam Grassroots Music Festival post show. You get to hear interviews from both Friday and Saturday, and get to hear music from bands that played at the Band Jam, which coincidentally is right on the screen. I just scrolled, but it was there. Anyway, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening, and join us next Monday.
Thank you, everybody.